Good day to everyone watching. This is Vex and Dreadnoughts bringing you my first ever video. I am a newcomer to the 40K franchise and I've been enamored with the lore, especially with my recent outing with Space Marine 2, where after learning the various lore of all the Space Marine chapters, I picked up Blood Angels and cosplayed my own Assault Marine as the Death Company. For that reason, I decided if I wanted to start my army in tabletop, it would be the Blood Angels. So here's my first army of 1,000 points, but instead of showing the models, I am presenting it to you in a TCG format with the cards with their stats at the bottom. Stick around to see what my mind comes up with. Alright, so for our general army right here, this should compose of 1,000 points. I am bringing along two squads of assault intercessors, combined with the Blood Angel captain, a squad of Death Company Marines with jump packs, combined with Astrath, Vanguard veterans with jump packs, Commander Dante and the Sanguinary Guard, as well as a Brutalis Dreadnought. Okay, so for detachment ability and enhancements, I am bringing no enhancements. I am bringing the detachment ability of the Red Thirst, which adds +1 to attack and +2 to strength, which I think, just at a surface glance, I think that's pretty insane, especially since it affects the charge move, where I do imagine charging my units a lot. I am going to be in the thick of it in the melee, as I intend. So for the intercessor squad and captain, my reasoning here is that they're going to be a mix of the frontliners for me as well as the objective grabbers. I intend to make them a harasser type of unit. Their damage output, but the captain is enough to focus down lighter infantry units, which I expect the enemy team to be charging down at me in the early game. As well as I think I'd like to equip them with the assault intercessor squad, at least with some plasma pistols, two of them, as well as some thunder hammers just to add some extra damage to the mix. The Blood Angel captain will be packing the Inferno pistol to add some AP value as well as just leading to some good damage. So for the Vanguard veterans, my thinking with them is that they're insanely durable if you equip them with the Storm Shield, which I plan to do, as well as keep them in deep strike. So my whole idea is to just bring them out of reserves in a spot where the enemy might just be in a pinch and then just go all red thirst and just beat them down. From what I've seen online and from what I read in discussions, they can be extremely sticky and annoying to deal with. So that's pretty much an option why I want to bring them along. All right, so I think one of the cornerstones of my army would be the Sanguinary Guard plus Dante. So the guard can just bring insane elite infantry value. They move fast and have built-in deep strike, but I don't see myself using them as deep strike. But they're also somewhat sticky in terms of melee, where they take a -1 to hit rolls and wound values. In terms of actual attacks, they can go for very long charge phases where they kind of rush in and swing. On top of the whole red thirst from the detachment rule, they also have Commander Dante, which gives them an extra -1 to wounds in melee, where I expect these to be in most of the time. Dante also gives them a +1 to melee and a +1 to charge. So you kind of see the theme here. I'm kind of gonna charge them all into the thick of it. I mean, Dante himself wants to die, so I think that's where he wants to be. Dante also brings to the table battle shock test -1 for the enemy, so just for extra added utility. And for the Death Company Marines plus Astaroth, these guys are kind of like my just kind of throw them at the enemy and hope for the best. The heavy bolt pistol with the Death Company Marines brings in good range, which honestly I might trade for Inferno pistols just to get some AP values in. I'll also replace two chainswords with eviscerators to bring in some sustained hits. Pair these guys up with Astaroth, who brings in devastating wounds in every charge move he does, as well as has the ability to fight on death, where on a 4 plus on a D6, a destroyed unit can fight even after they die. So they just technically don't die. They die after their turn they attack, which is pretty nice. And finally, we have the namesake of this channel, a Dreadnought, more so a Brutalis Dreadnought. It brings in massive damage in melee with 6A and twin linked S12 plus mortal wound impact hits from the fists, as well as twin multi-meltas. I prefer taking the one Brutalis Talon, which brings the S12 and -2 AP in place of the fists, so replacing one fist with a Talon, and just keeping the twin meltas just to serve for more AP points and bringing being just the overall menace on the field. It has the insane ability of Brutalis Charge, which, from my understanding, basically could guarantee a mortal wound on a target if the dice rolls are in your favor. It also has a big like, screw you attack and deadly demise in sticking power, in where if it has 1 to 4 wounds remaining, it takes -1 hit for the hit rolls. So it's from my understanding, you're just gonna basically gonna be charging this into the enemy line and just basically just mowing them down before they have any chance to really attack back. Of course, besides Blood Angels, I do want to build more armies, you mean theorize more army compositions. So I think just to keep it thematic with the Blood Angels, I guess my next army would be the Tyranids just because of what happened on Ball. So I picked the Tyranids just because A, they bring Synapse, which brings the ability to take Battle Shock tests on 3d6 instead of 2d6 for all my Tyranid units, effectively making Battle Shock not as effective, as well as the Tyranids bringing their own Shadow in the Warp ability, which allows us to blast the enemy with Battle Shock tests. From what I've seen, controlling this Battle Shock usage and insane units like the Death Sleeper, as well as having resilient frontline units like our Gargoyles here, combined with our Hype Tyrants and our Zone Thorps, really do lead to effective objective grabbers, as well as being essentially pests to deal with. Besides the Tyranids, I could also build a World Eater army, which is honestly the chaotic version of the Blood Angels if you really think about it. They bring a hyper aggressive playstyle, focusing more on melee versus range. Matter of fact, I don't think I've seen a single ranged unit. I think they have like the most closest thing is like a shotgun. Other than that, they're really good up close and personal. Blessings of Corn, for example, give us excellent blessings to choose from, such as Wrathful Devotion to have Feel No Pain 6 plus, Warp Blades to give our hits lethal hits, or even something simple like Rage Fueled Invigoration to give us a 2 to our move characteristic to really just get up and close and personal. And of course, we could also build towards a Salamander army, as after the Blood Angels, they're probably my next favorite faction, just because I do love their whole human and being kind aesthetic and theme. I love Vulcan, and I love Meltas, and I love Flamers, and I love dragons as well. So this is the perfect army to make a fire-themed army. I build around the Firestorm detachment, so ranged weapons have assault, so I can move forward and shoot as well as adding one strength to a weapon. I would build with aggressors, with the Flamestorm, the Infernus Marines. Imagine these are green instead of blue. I couldn't find any greens, and of course Vulcan himself. And that's it for my army and video. I'm not trying to build anything meta or competitive. I'm just trying to think of something fun and thematic within the 40k setting, as well as bringing my own power fantasy into the mix. I hope you guys liked the video, and please let me know in the comments anything I can improve on or build upon, as well as any corrections to the game and terminologies. I'm still fairly new to it, and this channel is serving as my journey through the game. I might in the future plan to use the cards to make lore videos as well, just to give a more interactive feel to it. Other than that, that is all. Like, comment, and subscribe, and always serve in the name of the Emperor. Till next time.